Okay, it's Pipes Drums, and it is October 26th, and we are delighted to be with World Solo Drumming Champion and World Pipe Band Champion Kerr McQuillan. Kerr, thanks very much for taking the time to meet with us.
No, thanks for having me on, Andrew.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, tell us. Let's go back a bit. What were your preparations like before the World Solos?
For me, it starts about a year in advance, actually. As soon as the previous World Solos is out of the way, I'm sort of just thinking about the next one in terms of deciding sets. I always try and play with the same piper as well. So we get together and try and make arrangements, deciding what drum scores I'm going to play. For this year, I've been the first year in adults, I needed to prepare a hornpipe and jig, which was exciting. So it's really a year in advance of thinking about it, and then when you get closer to the time, I sort of do an 8 week intensive program, and that's just splitting things down to making sure your hands are in the right place, so your hand fitness, making sure the stamina is there, breaking down every score into 2 bar phrases, and also making sure that you're meeting up with your piper regularly. We sort of meet up every 2 3 nights just to try and keep on top of things and make sure ensemble's right there. So certainly going into it, this year is quite well prepared and felt ready. You want to go into it knowing that you're going to deliver something, and felt quite confident with that this year.
Yeah, obviously. So you're feeling good going into it. Tell us about each performance as you went through. You played three separate times, and actually before that, for the qualifying round to the semifinals. But what were you thinking on the day while you were playing?
I suppose the first run in the semi final that can be a little bit nervy. Going into it, it's sort of unknown. You want to get through. That's what you're hoping. And you're trying everything you can. And then so that first run was I was a little bit nervous going into it, but as soon as I went on stage, totally calmed down. Got a good solid introduction, and that seemed to go pretty well. And then on the whole, I thought the performance was good. No mistakes, nothing that went wrong. Played well with the Piper, so that went well. And then after we came off, everyone else that was watching, some good feedback there. So felt in a good place with that. And then you're sort of just waiting for the results at that point to see if you've done enough to get through. And luckily, I managed to get through that semi final, actually winning the semi final as well, which was pretty cool. And then at that point, it was sort of just like pressure off, go into the final, just try and enjoy yourself. It's the first time playing in that big stage in front of an audience. I certainly never felt any pressure, no fear, just go in there and do my thing, do what I can do. So then onto the MSR in the final, and again that felt pretty good. Introduction rolls went well, everything hands were feeling good. So delivered a performance, get a good reaction from the crowd after the MSR. And at that point, you're sort of hearing bits and pieces from other competitors, other guys that have had some good runs, other guys that aren't happy, and it's just trying to eliminate that from your head ultimately. And then the hornpipe and jig, the final performance of the day. And at that point, it was just about let's just go in and enjoy this. It's came up with a fun set, something that's tunes that haven't often been played at the World Solo Drumming before. And it was just about going on there and enjoying it, and it felt really good in the room. It just felt like we delivered something pretty cool, and you never know how you're going to do, but I suppose after we finished the hornpipe and jig, we're like that was fun. If anything, I've done what I can do, controlled the controllables, so pretty happy with all three runs actually.
Yeah, that's great. So you came off after that final performance, the hornpipe and jig, feeling you've done all that you can do, and the rest is up to other people, pretty much. Were you getting your hopes up, or were you just being, whatever happens, happens?
No, after it, I was very much like I was just thinking, look, I've done what I can do. There's maybe a wee bits here and there. You start questioning yourself, start overthinking things a little bit. But no, it was very much anywhere close in the prize list or getting anywhere is an absolute bonus. I went up there and enjoyed the performance and kept myself grounded and focused. So no, I wasn't. There was no expectation on my part at all. There was people that would come over and say, "Oh, I really enjoyed that. Got you up there today," but you never know at all.
Yeah, yeah, and considering, I think by all accounts, at age 19, you're the youngest winner of the title, um, you know, by a number of years, 2 or 3 years anyway. Have to look into that. And then also, it was your first year competing at the adult level after having played for a while in juvenile very successfully. So, okay, um, the result comes out, you're announced the winner, you know, tell us about that. How did you feel?
Well, it was just pure joy and excitement that everything that I'd worked for it sort of paid off. And for any drummer in pipe bands, world solo drumming is pretty much the ultimate. And it's what you work for. Certainly for me, it was everything that I'd put into my life was to try and win that event. So it just sort of it was a relief as well. It was like, oh, that's a big weight lifted off that I've managed to put all that work in and it's came true. So it was honestly a great feeling when it was announced. It was just pure joy.
Yeah, we can only imagine. Uh, and okay, so what a lot of people might be wondering, what did you do to celebrate?
To be fair, it was fairly tame celebrations because I was absolutely knackered. The full day it takes a lot out of you, all the adrenaline building up. So after it, we just went out with some of my close friends within the band, some family, and we just had a nice chilled evening, talked through everything, shared some stories, and from when I was younger to where I am today. And no, it was fairly tame actually.
Yeah, well, that's yeah, I can understand that. It's so much work that you've described, and I know your dad, as we talked about last February, has been by your side, and I'm sure your mom as well, and all your family. So that's terrific to hear. Okay, why don't we wrap up this part? And you've had an incredible season overall, so we'll talk about that in general and the longer term in 2023, and talk about what's you're looking forward to in 2024. So hang on.